there was the lady who always fell ill only when she was traveling to
Yeah,
Mumbai.
exactly.
You tell us about that.
Yeah, yeah. So, well, that was a very beautiful case. In fact, it also brought me into a kind of a shock of what all can be done with this process.
Right.
So there was this lady who had her. She was from Goa, and she had her husband in Bombay. And whenever she would come to Bombay, she wanted to shift to Bombay full time. But whenever she would come to Bombay, she would fall ill. She would fall sick. And this went on happening for some good time. And about 2 years like this. So she had to stay there in Goa, where she was fine, hale and hearty. Here only she will have that. Anyway, so she came to me and actually said these words that this is a very silly thing which I'm telling you. But can you please help me when you're doing this reading? Can you help me with this objective also? I said, why not? So I checked the records, and surprise, surprise, I got a name of a deity. And to be very frank, I did not know that deity existed till the time that name came to me. So I just did a reading, and I saw that maybe some centuries back, this lady was a devotee of that god. So Godkeshwar, so basically, so that was the time this lady had made something went wrong in that lifetime. And when she came back, so there was a curse of that god to her when she came back in that lifetime. Now, I also asked her whether, and when I actually checked the name of that god, I came to know that it is a lava god, and it is I would say that it's an avatar of Hanumanji, and it was made by lava maybe millions of years back in around railroad station in India, in Bombay. So I was like, I told her that this is the deity, this is the god which you need to. I detached her thoughts with that curse which the god had given, and I told her it was some time where she was supposed to come back. So I said, whenever you are in railroad area, just visit that, just pay your obeisance and pray to the god, saying that it's a mistake, whatever is there. Just with your unconditional love, I have detached you. Just go and also surrender to the god. And believe you, this is about 2 years, 1.5, 2 years back. And last 2 years, she shifted to Bombay and she's staying with her husband. And that was kind of that just opened up my antenna, because it was like I was completely zapped by that particular thing. So this is something which nobody will be aware, of course, because what has happened in the past life, only when she will come here, she will fall ill. So likewise, I have got many solutions which have come out, in which a person he had gone to, like, he was from Pune, and I was just talking to him when he came back from a particular location, which he didn't know was important in that case. So I asked him that whether he had been to Chennai or somewhere around Mahabalipuram. So he told me that he had gone to Mahabalipuram for his company's training, and his training class, or rather that whatever that establishment was on Mahabalipuram Road. So I saw that he was from the Pallava dynasty, and he was doing so basically, I don't know, Chalukya, not Chalukya, but Pallava dynasty, and he was a Khabri. He was a kind of a poacher or a Khabri.
Khabri, like a spy.
It was like a spy, yes. Okay. So he was caught by the enemy camp, and on that road, his body was mutilated literally. He was killed, mutilated, and maybe he was never found that also. And when he came back from that place, he also found that his stomach was twisted. His stomach was twisted, and doctor was not able to say how. His kidneys were going bad. His stomach was twisted, so he was only drinking fluids, and he was not even eating solid food. Right. So a complete nightmare for a doctor. And that person, he said that what happened to me suddenly in 3 months. And then when we did the reading, I asked him whether he had gone to somewhere around Mahabalipuram, because I saw those clear directions. He said yes. And really, coming from there, within a month, he started having these issues. And when I detached his cords, this was on a Sunday. When I detached his cords, Monday, he calls me and tells me that he's got a lot of uneasiness in the body.
Right.
So generally, I would get very perturbed or very, kya galat to, did I do something wrong? So, anybody will think like that. But I just reached out to Chitragupta ka Lord Metatron, and he said that nothing wrong. Just tell him to get his checkup done. And miracle happened where he went to Tuesday to the checkup, and his doctor did a sonography, and he told him that the stomach, which was inverted, became correct. It changed its shape, and he started eating solid food. So the heaviness which he had to, or rather because of extra fluid, his kidneys were also getting affected. So luckily, he started having more solid food, and his kidneys were also started doing better. So this is something which kind of zapped me completely.
Right. Right. I mean, this is like it's like almost it's like one of those like paranormal shows that you watch on TV. Your goosebumps are up, and you don't know what's coming up next. And this gentleman, as you said, stomach inverted and kidneys were going, and doctors couldn't figure out what was happening. And of course, people letting you know very clearly,
Yeah.
the medical field is the medical field.
Yes.
Always must get your checkups done. This is a situation where couldn't figure out everything showing up fine.
Everything's
And
fine.
this is what came out. So this is where the divination came into play. Amazing. Give us one or two more, Deepak. This is, I know people are waiting to experience this, but this is very, very exciting and inspiring to hear, because one might be thinking, why do I get a headache every day at only 7 o'clock, for example, So go to Deepak and find out why or how. Okay, please continue.
Well, on the same line, there was this gentleman who also had not a similar issue, a completely different issue. He was working in a liner industry. So he was in a ship, on a job in a ship. And he was in the technical staff. And the best, what? He had a fear of ocean, fear of water.
And he's working on a ship.
But still he's working on a ship. So that was maybe his life path. Luckily, he listened to himself. Now, something happened about 2.5 years back where he was, so when he came back, when he was on a tour, on a trip, he had sudden feeling of some numbness below his waist. And this numbness, as I said, medical is always required. You need to go, even for that person for the stomach issue. I told him, you please get yourself checked by a doctor. Not that, okay, live in awareness, nothing. No, you have to get medically certified. That is better always. So he spent about 1.5 years getting himself checked. He got an MRI, a CT scan, some more reports. Someone said your digestive system is stuck. Someone said your brain is having issues. So he, for about 1.5 years, he may have done something like maybe 100, 200 tests. And nothing turned out to be giving any answers to him. And still he was lagging with the same issue. So when he came to me, he came with no hope, to be very frank. He said that I don't know. His first word was that I don't know whether you will be able to help me with this, but this is something which is nagging me like crazy. If you can help me, that will be great. So I said, if you have come to me and asking me, let's see. We will do our best. That's what we can do. So when I checked, I put a question where why this guy is facing like this. I got a clear indication. I asked him the very next moment, had you been to Portugal? To a particular port. I didn't know that port, but somewhere in Portugal, there was a port which I told him, did you go to Portugal to any port? And after that, you have got this issue. So for few moments, he was in a sense of denial, but somewhere his wife was also part of that call. And she said, oh, yes, you had been to that place, And so the ladies are more connected emotionally on those aspects. Sorry, gents, no, there's no ill feeling towards you, please. So she immediately pointed out her, and he remembered, yes, 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 that during that time it was done. So I checked his somewhere in 15th century, he was an avid seafarer, and it seems he got stuck in a controversy in that time between two groups or something like that. And one, he was a very important member of the other team. So he was actually taken, he was killed, he was beaten, thrashed, and around his back, lower back, he was thrashed very badly. And there was a very heavy stone which was tied on his back, and he was put into the water just outside that port. So when he went to that port, that same body, I don't know how, please don't ask me how, because this is just, I cannot logically explain. But that pain of that body which was lying there, lifeless, was transmitting it to him to release that. Maybe, whatever. Release that from his subconscious mind also. So when I did that cord cutting of that pain sensation which that body had felt, when, so the moment I cleared that, it's been 1.5 years. And immediately after the healing of that day, he said that he started feeling sensation in his legs. And now his fear of sea, fear of whatever, ship, everything has just gone away. And he last 1.5 years, he's doing fantastic job. And no numbness in the legs, nothing. Everything just sorted out.
This is amazing. Like, it is so amazing. And even people are writing in, Dr. Sheila has written, Anu's written, amazing, mind blowing. And it really is. And I know, and Deepak, actually, again, people are writing in their concerns. And I just want to address that very quickly. Ritz and everybody else, Meenal, everyone who had written in earlier also, thank you for sharing your concerns. We will try and get as many of you as we can on one-on-one with Deepak, but just hold on, hang on. We're all going to go through a group process, which Deepak will explain. And in fact, I think Deepak, part of that process also involves selecting any one thing that is bothering you right now.
Yeah.
So for everybody who's already written in or is thinking of something, please just hold on, hang on. We're coming to this really quickly. Within minutes, we will be doing this. So just hold that, be here, stay here. And a very, very quick reminder, especially for everybody who's new here, when we bring you on one with Deepak, not in the group process, one, you will be coming on video. And this call is live streaming on YouTube right now and will be publicly shared as a replay. So when you want to come on, I'm giving you one disclaimer right away right now. I will remind you again then that think about it. If you don't want people to know about, don't want it known publicly, don't come on the one-on-one here. Right? Okay. I mean, we respect your privacy also. So that is there. Yes, Deepak. Sorry, you were saying something, Deepak?
Yeah. Well, as I said, the health wise, and even for that matter, if you look at another major specialty, someone was saying, asking me in the morning on the group, saying that is marriage possible after this? And even child, someone mentioned about, I think, some conceiving child and things like that. So yes, these are also things where, so I'll just give you a small synopsis of summary of what I have done in terms of, so maybe 7 years back, 6 years back was the first time I actually used Akashic for a mother who was not able to conceive. And within 25 days of the process, I'll just mention that one incident where, so she was basically carrying a lot of fear. One regarding regarding delivering a girl child, which was somehow in that family, there were some issues which she was facing. And on top of it, she had in her past life carried some, so basically she was having 4 children in her past life. And these 4 children in a flood went away from her. So they basically could not survive. She survived, but with a lot of grief. So she took a dying oath. So the dying thought or a dying oath is something like, if I it's better not to have children. So
Ah,
she
okay.
carried that oath. And once I detached her from that oath, within 25 days, she was conceived immediately. And
Oh,
within, I think that within 25 days, she conceived. And as per the time, February 20, remember, 2018, I believe, 6 years, 7 years. So 2018, she delivered twins, a boy and a girl. So even balance there.
right. That is so nice. I mean, really, you know, anything that you're saying, it's all just so amazing. I can't wrap my head around it because obviously, with a situation like this, don't look for logic, right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
that's the whole point of divination. It's mystical, it's magical, and if you're going to sit and wanting, acha, but in that lifetime it was like this, but I am not like that right
Yeah.
now. But
Correct.
I guess that's what you meant, Deepak, when you
Yes.
said
Yes.
that
Yes.
the
Yes.
karmic and ancestral.
Yeah.
So, and you don't know which
Yes.
lifetime, which parallel universe, anywhere out there,
Yeah.
right?